I'm up for that challenge, and I think that in that light, I do bring something different. I am not a public personality, and I haven't made my living just doing politics. I've made my living creating businesses, creating jobs for Canadians, and being successful in that field.
Now that the dust is settling, we're starting to get more information. One of the people that is running for potentially being Canada's next prime minister, or running for the leadership race for the Liberal Party, is a billionaire. And this guy is gross. He profited it millions, hundreds of millions of dollars off of selling ventilators to the government of Canada at a upmarket value. Like, he way brought it up because it was a super big contract. So he profited heavily off of people dying during the blip. Also, the Liberals are allowing 14-year-old non-residents to vote in their leadership race to see who's going to be the next leader of the Liberal Party. That's kind of sketchy. LA is burning down, and Elon Musk called Justin Trudeau a girl on social media. Yeah, there's a lot to cover in this video. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video, everybody. Before we get into it, I do want to encourage y'all to hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't yet already. It does really help grow the channel. We are on our way to 500,000 subscribers, and it'd be pretty cool if we got there sooner than later. Without further ado, let's get right into the news. Starting off with the polls here, you got Pierre Poilievre still sitting at 236 projected seats with a bottom line of 208, top end of 255. He still only needs 172 for a majority. You got Justin Trudeau-ish, or interim, the Liberals at 35 projected seats and the NDP at 25, and 99% likely across the board for the Conservatives of winning the most seats and odds of a majority government. So even though there's been a lot of turbulence, it doesn't seem to have affected the Conservatives at all. But now let's take a look at what's going on in LA, because it's absolutely devastating. So even Elon Musk is sharing posts of this. What we're about to see here used to be an overpass or a highway with houses on the left and the right next to the ocean. Oh my goodness. So this is some of the most highest priced real estate in all of LA, and it's all just poof disappeared within several days. Now, what's extremely scary, and this hasn't fully been confirmed, so take this with a grain of salt, but I did see it floating around online, and if it eventually does get fully confirmed, then I'll make an update, of course. But a lot of insurance companies, weeks before now, just weeks prior, started canceling people's insurance and not covering fires. And then this happens. And forest fires season in LA and California, it goes hand in hand with Canada. It's usually atrocious. But to happen in January is kind of crazy. So we don't know what the heck is going on, but that's extremely greasy from insurance companies. But let me know down in the comments what you guys think about that. And speaking of greasy, Mark Zuckerberg is taking a full 180 on his approach to controlling Meta and Facebook. Here, you have a post saying Mark Zuckerberg's Meta now allows its billions of users to accuse transgenders and gay people of being mentally ill. So there you go. He's completely taken a 180 on his censorship with Meta. And of course, that comes after his announcement, his very strange video saying that he wants to go back to the grassroots movement of what Facebook originally was and preserve free speech, even though he hasn't. Kind of bizarre, but let me know your thoughts down below about Zuck. Is he based? Is this a weird snake move? Let me know your guys' thoughts. And then here you've got Justin Trudeau with his massive post that garnered over 13 million views saying there isn't a snowball's chance in hell that Canada would become part of the United States. Workers and communities in both our countries benefit from being each other's biggest trading and security partner. To which Elon Musk replied, girl, you are not the governor of Canada anymore. So it doesn't matter what you say. And people are freaking out because Elon Musk called them girl, which again, you're not really going to get another response from Justin Trudeau. I think now he's just a walking L and he's just going to take it on the chin. And then you have a former Liberal Prime Minister Jean Chrétien says people need to get married and start dressing better. I can actually agree to that. It seems like now everyone is, well, in terms of the marriage thing, that's its own thing. But I mean, I just wear Walmart t-shirts. Maybe I should start wearing a suit. You know what? When I get to 500,000 subscribers, I'll start wearing dress clothes and even a suit. And then we've got this video here of the Ontario Premier Doug Ford, who appears on Fox News to defend Canada-US trade. And it's just kind of an absolute embarrassment. I mean, Fox News walks all over him and just really, really makes him look like he's just an ornament. Let's take a look.
Ford, the Premier of Ontario, Canada, joins me now. All right, Premier. By the way, I loved your brother. We did an interview. Great guy. Yeah, what's your problem with the United States absorbing Canada?
Well, first of all, Jesse, you know, I love the U.S. I love Americans, and I get it. You know, President-elect Trump is a real estate tycoon. He's made billions, but that property's not for sale. As simple as that. But I have a better idea, Jesse. Why don't we create Fortress Amcan and make sure it's the richest, wealthiest, most prosperous jurisdiction in the two countries anywhere in the world? We have the critical minerals, we have the energy, we have the electricity that America needs. And there's only one place I'd want to sell it to, and that's the U.S.
Well, you could sell it to us, or we could all own it together, and that's a choice we can all make together. You say this isn't for sale, but everything has a price. The $1 Million Man says that. Can you think of this more as a merger instead of an acquisition? Don't think about being taken over. Think about this as a coming together.
Yeah, we can come together on a great trade deal. We're two greatest countries in the world. Do you know what the problem is? I've lived 20 years in the U.S. Matter of fact, I spent a lot of time in Philly, where you did, for 7 years, and in Chicago. There's not one American that I speak to out there, Jesse, that has a problem with Canada. Do you know what the problem is? China's the problem. China is shipping in cheap parts into Mexico, and then Mexico slapping a Made in Mexico sticker on, shipping it up through the U.S. and Canada, costing American and Canadian jobs. Like, Mexico has to make a choice, Jesse.
I get
They're
it.
either with Beijing or Washington.
No, I get it. I get it. You say that Americans don't have a problem with Canadians, and we don't. But it seems like you have a problem with us. Because if I were a citizen of another country and I was a neighbor of the United States, I would consider it a privilege to be taken over by the United States of America. That's what everybody else in the world wants, American citizenship. For some reason, that's repellent to you Canadians. And I find that personally offensive, Premier.
Well, you know something, Jesse? We're proud Canadians, just like there's proud Americans. And if we join together and take on the world with a great trade deal between us, I think that'd be fabulous. No one could stop us.
Well, that's the point, because Trump says we're paying to protect Canada a lot, but Canada's ripping America off on trade. So why don't we just redraw the map to make it fair?
So we're the largest trading partner in the world, 1.3 trillion. So the only area that we have
Mexico has you beat, but you're a close second. Go ahead.
So as you can see, I mean, he's just getting absolutely obliterated here on Fox News. And it doesn't seem like America, or at least Donald Trump, is joking anymore. And it seems like Americans are jumping on the bandwagon for Canada being absorbed by America. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think about this. It seems like a very controversial topic, right? Whatever happens is going to happen regardless. If Canada is going to be taken over, it's just going to be taken over by America. There's literally nothing we can do. We sent all of our military equipment to Ukraine, so we can't even defend ourselves. And I don't think Canadians and Americans are ready to go to an actual war for the land. And so it just seems like we're going to be politically squeezed, and it's going to hurt a lot financially, to the point where you're going to start to see people get really, really upset if that's the road that we go down. But down in the comments, let me know if you guys agree with Canada being absorbed, or if you don't, and let me know your reasoning as to why. And next up, we're going to take a look here at how kids, 14-year-olds, and they don't have to be citizens, they can be non-citizens, can vote in the leadership race for the Liberal Party. Kind of weird.
While the rules aren't set to replace Justin Trudeau, the Liberal Party is poised to allow people who can't vote in the next federal election to be eligible to pick the next Prime Minister.
When the Constitution was written for the party, the foreign interference as we know it now was not as big of a concern, but things have changed.
Liberal MP Yasser Naqvi's worry based on how the Liberal Party accepts new members. Head to their website, say you're over 14, provide a Canadian address, and you're officially a Liberal. No payment required. That means over 3 million non-permanent residents in Canada, including international students and temporary foreign workers, would be allowed to vote in the upcoming leadership race.
I will be encouraging our party executive to make sure that we have all the rules in place to ensure there is no foreign interference.
But the party seems unwilling to change eligibility requirements. Our open and inclusive process ensures we hear from more people in the communities we engage with, the party said in a statement, a sentiment backed by a former party president who believes a short leadership race will make it harder for foreign actors to impact.
We have the technology that enables you to verify identification and totally avoid any risk of foreign interference.
The Liberal Party has been subject to foreign interference claims previously. Global News reported CSIS had intelligence that the Chinese consulate in Toronto allegedly helped bus in international students to vote in the 2019 Don Valley North Liberal nomination meeting. The interim report from the Public Inquiry into Foreign Interference said there was, quote, strong indications that students likely voted for the consulate's preferred candidate. Foreign interference in a national race, a possibility, according to a former head of CSIS.
There may be some pathways that still exist where people who have connections to foreign governments might still have some influence in the process.
The NDP and Conservatives both require payment and for someone to be a permanent resident or Canadian citizen to join their party. Much stricter rules compared to the Liberals, who will discuss their leadership race further tomorrow when their caucus meets.
Okay, so of course that seems to be pretty friggin' sketchy, and it's causing a lot of outrage within the political field. That just, what the heck is wrong with these rules? 14-year-olds to vote in the leader, but they can't even federally vote. That is pretty messed up. Next up here, we're going to take a look at what is actually going on as the hunt for the new Liberal Party begins. Here we go.
Here at home, the clash between the two countries is triggering a lot of reaction, and tracking it all is CTV's Mike Couture. Mike.
Well, Omar, much of the reaction has been defiant that Canada will remain independent. It's also coming from a number of people who are publicly and not so publicly hoping to lead this country. In a post on X, Foreign Affairs Minister Melanie Joly pushed back against the president-elect, saying our economy and people are strong, adding, we will never back down in the face of threats. A forceful statement from someone rumored to be a top contender for the Liberal leadership just a day after the Prime Minister announced his resignation.
I believe in Canada, and I'm optimistic about our future.
Former Member of Parliament Frank Baylis is the first to officially declare his candidacy for the leadership, and he has a different take on Trump's threat.
No big deal. Let him spout off the way he wants to. We'll negotiate if and when the time comes.
But that time is coming in less than 2 weeks, when Trump could impose 25% tariffs on all Canadian goods going into the United States. And this former ambassador to the U.S. believes the Prime Minister should stay out of this fight as he's on his way out of office.
I think he should leave the field to the premiers and other members of the federal cabinet and the opposition to react to this, and he should stay out of it.
Opposition leaders have been pushing back on social media. Conservative leader Pierre saying Canada will never be the 51st state, period. NDP leader Jagmeet Singh posted, "Cut the crap, Donald. No Canadian wants to join you." Singh also echoed an argument that tariffs will hurt jobs on both sides of the border.
It's scary. I definitely feel like it's something that we should be worried about.
Sounds like invasion, sounds like an act of war, so even if it's economic.
Now, to calm those fears and concerns from premiers, Prime Minister Trudeau has invited them to Ottawa next Wednesday, where a strategy on dealing with the U.S. will be at the top of the agenda.
Yeah, there is none. There is no strategy dealing with the U.S. And that's what Canadians are in a total panic about right now, is because we don't even have real leadership. And as per Trump's own words of how that meeting went between Justin Trudeau and Trump, we're about to go bankrupt. $200 billion. If America pulls out of that $200 billion charity donation that they're giving Canada, then according to what Trump said, Justin Trudeau said that we're going to go bankrupt and our economy can't sustain that. $200 billion. We're in a $60 billion quarterly deficit. That means that we're a year and a half, 2 years away from going bankrupt naturally anyways. That's not good. A country the size of Canada should not be on the verge of bankruptcy over $200 billion. So we are in free fall mode, and this is very, very not good. And it's actually only going to get worse. So a couple of days ago, I posted this on X. The only one as of today that has confirmed he's running for the Liberal leadership is the guy who owns Baylis Medical. During the blip, Baylis Medical collaborated and made $237 million from Justin Trudeau off of selling ventilators. And we're going to take a look now at an interview with CBC on his basically public announcement that he is putting a bid in for the leadership race to what he thinks is hopefully become Canada's next prime minister. This guy is scary. This guy is Justin Trudeau 2.0. Let's take a look.
Good question. Well, I think I bring a different perspective. I'm a businessman, so what's different about me is that I'm not a career politician. I'm someone that spent most of my life, my career, and my profession. I'm a professional engineer by training, and I'm a businessman by the work I do.
Right, so the business background is...
He was previously a former Quebec Liberal, or Quebec MP, by the way. And he stepped down so that he could sell ventilators from his company to the government for marked up prices. This guy is scummy. Very, very, very scummy.
What you think the Liberal Party needs right now, what the government of Canada needs at this point in time?
I think the whole government needs that, not just the Liberal Party. I think the whole government could benefit from someone that's lived a little bit more what I'd say in the real world. Someone that's coming from industry. That's what's going to drive our economy, make life better for Canadians everywhere, is to create great jobs, create great economies so that people can afford to buy houses, their groceries and everything. It really stems from that. And that, I think, is something that I bring to the table.
Okay, so you were an MP for one term. In 2015, you were elected, chose not to run again in 2019. Why would you bow out of a political career after just 4 years and now decide you want to come back and seek the leadership and potentially become the Prime Minister of Canada?
So first of all, your question is a great one, because I don't think we should have career politicians. I know we have them. I know that's the norm now, but I don't agree with that. I don't think it's the right thing to drive our country forward. So I was never intending on being a career politician. I think it was a great honor for me, and I'm very glad that I got that opportunity to serve Canada, and I'm very proud of that. But I was never planning on being a career politician.
Right.
I stepped away, and now I'm stepping back in because I think that there's a need for someone like me that can have a positive impact and really bring the change that I want to see happen for Canada.
Dude, this guy is a robot. He has no personality, no charisma, nothing. This is extremely frightening. His eyes look empty. Looks dead on the inside.
I appreciate your assessment of career politicians, but one of the benefits of being a career politician is that you build the experience in a caucus and maybe in a cabinet and how government works, and you build a profile. Yes. I don't mean to be disrespectful when I say this. I'm not sure a lot of even Liberal voters in this leadership would know who Frank Baylis is. So how do you overcome that, right?
No, you're absolutely right. I don't benefit from the fact that I've lived my life in the private eye. I mean, in the public eye. I've been in the private world, in the private business. So I don't benefit from that all the other candidates who are going to be running for leadership have been in the public eye their whole life. but that's okay. I'm up for that challenge, and I think that in that light, I do bring something different. I am not a public personality, and I haven't made my living just doing politics. I've made my living creating businesses, creating jobs for Canadians, and being successful in that field.
But you still need to be known, you still need to resonate. This is going to be a short leadership process that's then going to roll into a very quick election process. There's not a lot of time there for someone like you to introduce yourself to Liberals, let alone the country.
Yeah, no, look, so I've been a Liberal my whole life, let's be clear about that, and I've had different roles. Behind the scenes, I've been head of fundraising for the Quebec arm of the Liberal Party. I've been a finance guy for my local riding for many years, and I ran as a candidate for one term. I ran and won the nomination, and then I ran as a local MP. So you're absolutely right that I'm not a well-known candidate and not a well-known person, but this is just another challenge that I'll have to face, and I'm up for the challenge. And not only that, but I think it does differentiate me from everybody else. So I actually see it as a positive.
What do you think of the situation your party finds itself in now? The Prime Minister has been under pressure for months from members of his caucus and others to reconsider his leadership and leave his leadership, but he didn't do it until the 6th of January, and there's not a lot of runway here. And the polling numbers are what the polling numbers are. I mean, are you looking at this next election as a chance to hold on to government, or is this as a opportunity for the Liberal Party to save the furniture?
Well, first I'd like to thank the Prime Minister, Prime Minister Trudeau, for what he's done for our country and the service that he's given. Whether everybody agrees with all that he did or not, I think he worked with good faith towards making Canada a better place. So I thank him for that. Now, with respect to the Liberal Party, I know everybody looks at the polls and it looks dismal, and we can't hide from that, but I'm actually quite optimistic, to be honest. I think that giving Canadians the right choice, letting them see that there's alternatives to Pierre to lead our country, and bringing someone in that's actually lived in the real world, had real world experiences, knows what it's like to create jobs, to create economies, to make it such that it's better for Canadians. I think that if Canadians are given that choice, I think they'll look twice at it. So I can't predict the future, but I'm actually very optimistic, and I think the Liberal Party is a great party, proud to be part of it, and I don't subscribe to the doomsday that everybody's seeing.
I wonder, though, Mr. Baylis, is you're making this announcement without knowing what the rules are, without knowing what the timeline is, without knowing what the entry requirement, entry fees would be. Is there anything that could be put in place by the Liberal Party executive that would deter you from pushing ahead with this?
That's a good point. So I should clarify that I am fully planning to run. However, I do not know the rules. They are being put forward as we speak. But barring something that's...
How serious can this guy be? I mean, okay, he was an MP one time for 4 years, so he happened to win a riding, but can he actually pull the Liberals out of this absolute mess? I mean, he certainly has the money to try and rebrand the Liberal Party himself, right? This guy has more money than Justin Trudeau, which is kind of rare in terms of politicians, but he's not a politician, so I guess it makes sense from that perspective. But this guy has no personality. Maybe that's what the Liberals need. It's just a robot, like a literal dead on the inside robot. He doesn't know the rules. Pierre Poilievre would destroy him in one public debate. I feel like I could destroy him in one public debate. It looks like he doesn't know anything. No way this guy is real. Like, we're serious about this. This is absolutely comical.
Word that I can't run. No, it's my full plan to run, and I'm looking forward to the challenge.
Do you have any caucus support? Have you heard from any MPs, any cabinet ministers, any other heavyweights in the party who say they're going to support you? Because a low-profile outsider bid is going to need some of that if you're going to have any kind of hope here.
So I purposely did not contact some of my past colleagues to tell them that I was planning on running. And the reason I did that is I didn't think it was right to put them in that position. So Prime Minister Trudeau has just stepped down. I haven't even started to make those phone calls. To be honest, I've been overwhelmed with the number of people calling me and saying they want to support me, and just getting my team together and all that. Right. That's really taken up a lot of my time. And as you pointed out, I'm not going to be a out-the-door favorite. I'm not the known candidate with a big profile, but these are just a challenge for me that I'm happy to step up to in that. So
the guy can barely put a sentence together without sounding absolutely idiotic. Look, only an idiot would say that he's running in politics and not even know the rules, and we don't even know if this guy has intentions to run. It just seems like a bit of a publicity stunt, but it's extremely scary because he has a lot of money, and we know one thing works in politics is money. Money can work, but Pierre Poilievre has an instrumental lead right now. So I don't even think $10 billion is enough money to fix the mess that Justin Trudeau caused. I don't think that there's anybody that can pull off a win really right now for the Liberals, which is good, which is really good. But it's scary to see who wants to actually run. It's very, very scary. Mark Carney, there's a lot of speculation that he wants to run. I think he was actually making a website even for his bid for the leadership race. So you got a lot of people. And Mark Carney, look, I don't like Mark Carney. Chances are you don't like Mark Carney, but he actually has a kind of decent reputation to normies that aren't doing a deep dive off the political pool. People that just watch the news, watch CTV, CBC, whatever. People just watch regular news. They actually kind of like Mark Carney because of his reputation. That is a scary guy. This guy is scary for sure because he's a billionaire. Mark Carney, I think, is a little bit more terrifying. But let me know down in the comments what you guys think about this. Can one person even pull the Liberals out of this mess? I mean, we're in the election year, right? And prorogation ends March 24th, 27th, something like that. So chances are voting on confidence is going to be called right away. March, April, or May is when we're going to see the federal election. So there's not a lot of runway to actually fix any of the damage that has been caused. But nonetheless, I'd still love to know your guys' thoughts and comments down below. That is the end of the video, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. On your way out, if you haven't yet already, I'd like to encourage you guys to hit the like button and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.